Growing up without our parents was a rough experience, but the worst happened when my brother got into drugs.
He spent all our savings to purchase drugs.
Isolated himself from his family members, and spent most of his time with his friends.
I did high as a day like this.
He got into many drugs from pills to weed, syrup, and he injected himself. He became very violent and got into trouble. He spent days outside without coming home. The drugs began to eat him gradually. It was painful seeing him lose his mind, but it was more painful when we lost him forever.
Stay safe. Don't do drugs. This is Narco Tales.
Hello and welcome to Narco Tales, the show where we uncover the raw and real stories of those who have battled substance dependence and found their paths to redemption. I am your host, Netta Wedozie, and today our guest Samuel Pius takes us on a journey through his story. Samuel, you're welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
So let's start from the early beginning. Tell us about how growing up was for you.
Yeah, growing up, I grew up in a family of 8. I was the first son, and my dad was a panel beater, and then so he never had sufficient formal education, so he tried to see that he made us go to school so we could have a better future. So, and that is it. So I went to Federal Government College, my degree, where I started schooling. And then one way or the other, that was, I grew up in a local government, so to say, that's in Gala, local government. So and Federal Government College was in the city. So the only opportunity I had to go to the city was because of school. So, and then life was different in the city than it used to be in the rural area because there is stable electricity and all of that stuff. So I get to see city boys, city life, and because I never had any, so I wanted to feel among the big boys. So that was what. So my attention began to pull towards another direction, and then before you know it, we just started doing what other guys do. Try to jump from the fence and go to town and be part of the activities in the city. And most of those people you go to meet in towns are actually university boys. So we go to University of Maiduguri, you want to catch feelings, you want to feel like a big boy, you disguise and all of that stuff. So before you know it, we started breaking the school rules. Because when you sneak out of school without the school authorities conscious consent, you're actually breaking the rules and all of that stuff. So most of the times we don't sleep in the hostel, so your house captain is looking for you, and because your house captain is looking for you, you don't get to sleep in the hostel. And then before you know it, the labor prefect is looking for you because you start dodging. You don't want to be part of the labor, you don't want to, and the head boy is looking for you. That's the summary of the whole thing. So the only place that they can barb you is actually the dining hall, because no matter what, when your stomach starts telling you must attend to that.
That's very interesting. So what was the turning point that led you down the path of substance dependence?
That was we were actually expelled from school because we were leading a life of indulgences. So we went to town and we were part of a robbery. We actually went to buy bread because my friend had monies that he went to visit his family and then he came back. So we needed to eat. So we can't eat money. Let's go to town and see if we can buy something. So Federal Government College Maiduguri is close to a park. They call it Bama Motor Park. So people who sell breads in the park at night, they just cover them, then come very early to sell to early travelers. So when we got there, it was late. So, and we told ourselves that we must either buy bread or we move bread. One way or the other, bread must follow us back home. So that was why, that was what happened. So we stole the bread, and we never knew other students were also caught in that light. So, but we became the scapegoat that day. So the man was actually sleeping not too far from his loaf, observing to see who had these guys who used to come and steal his bread. So, and that was our very first time, and that was our very last time. So we became the scapegoat, and they took us to the school authority, and they suspended us from school. So, but I was scared to go home because my dad was a strict religious man. Yeah, my father is one of those guys who attend Seventh-day Adventists. So Orthodox people, it's a conservative home. So, and I knew if anybody tells my dad that I was involved in such a thing, he will not believe, because at home I used to behave myself like, but you never knew that I was actually a wolf in a sheep clothing. So I told myself, no, I cannot go home and give my father a letter.
That you're expelled.
Yes.
Yeah.
Imagine this man who walks under the sun and the rain as a panebita.
Who would you tell him?
Or would I tell him that I sent you to a federal school and you're coming back with a federal embarrassment?
Of bread.
Yeah, because of bread.
Yeah.
Is it bread that I cannot afford? So I just told myself, Kai Baba, let me just face life. So that was how the street became my home. And then that's how the street became my home. And, actually what comes with the street life, picking pockets and snatching purses from ladies, stealing phones and reselling them. And I'm an Igbo boy, there's something we call Osafia. The typical Kanuri man is a proud person, so he will not want to park his car and come down to buy recharge cards.
Yes.
So I play the middleman. So between the Kanuri man that doesn't want to go and attend to the rich man and the rich man that doesn't want to come down from his car to go to the store. So
you are now the middleman.
Yes, I was the middleman. Once a big car parks, I rush to the car and ask them what they want. They want recharge card. I go get the recharge card, scratch it and load it for them. So at the end of the day, they look into my commissions for the whole day and pay me. So that was how I was getting to survive. So in the evening, definitely there is no family, so you feel abandoned. So the street was your home. So the only thing that can give you solace at that time was alcohol. So that's how we go. There's this place they call Sahel Hotels. You just go hit 1 or 2 bottles and get high, and then rap, because I'm a rapper. So whenever I'm high, I just want to rap, because that's what gives me joy. And when you rap, sometimes I listen to Tupac and all of those stuff. So you listen to some of their lyrics, it gives you hope and makes you feel like there is a brighter future ahead of you. So those are the things: alcohol, smoke marijuana. That's where I met people like Baba K, who introduced me into. We used to go to a place called 202. Okay. And around that 202, there are a lot of abandoned buildings. And so we just go we like smoking close to the river because it has its own atmosphere. So you just smoke and see the green leaves. And so you just smoke and get inspirations. Give me a paper and pen so I can write about my life and sing a couple of bottles of gins in case of dungaree. Tell all my people I'm a writer. Nobody cries when we die. We outlaw, we survive. So
alcohol led you into
marijuana,
proper substance abuse.
Yes.
So while you were on the streets, your parents, family didn't look for you?
Yeah, they would, but then phone was not as it is now. Okay. So you cannot even track someone. There is no there's no way you could track, because all my friends were in school. So who doesn't even know in town? Because even my relatives in town, they don't even know my way about. So you can't even
think that you were in school?
Yeah, they thought until when the school was on holiday and I was not home. That's when they knew that something is wrong somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I'm not the only one coming from that town. So people who knew about, because before we were expelled, we were actually punished publicly. The federal school, it's either the assembly on Friday or on Monday. Yeah. So they will bring you guys upstage and use you as an example for other students. They will trash you, and then they will suspend you publicly. So people who came from the same town where I came from, they knew. So they took the news to my dad.
Okay. So now let's talk about the effects of your substance dependence on your personal life and family life.
Yeah, alcohol became a newfound love, because a hustler hardly think about repercussions. So who cares? Do you understand? You're not even thinking about your girlfriend, because no girl will love you that time. Do you understand? Yes. Yeah, no girl will love a man that doesn't have anything, broke with no lights on.
Love was out of it.
Love was out of it. Do you understand? And all I was thinking about is how to make it back to the course and to the right path and impress my parents and let them know that, even though I found myself in this life, it wasn't my intention. My intention was good, just that my attention was put toward another direction, because maybe I wasn't matured enough to handle certain things I found myself in, right? And so that was just, so I smoke. First thing in the morning, I smoke, because instead of devotion, you are devoted to substance. So I smoke until I get high, go hustle. Then in the evening, I go cool off. So that was the only thing that, because like the Bible said, that he has set eternity in their hearts so that they will not be able to find out the work of God. There is a vacuum in the heart of every man that only God can fill. So sometimes we think maybe it's alcohol, we think it's women, we think it's cars. Everybody has his own vanity that they feel that's the thing that can, but there is nothing in life that can fill the space that God was meant to fill. So I thought at that time that the only thing that can fill up that vacuum was substance. but it rather contributed to destroying my real self and was turning me more to an alien. Yeah, because when you don't have money to get those things, you would want to steal to be able to get those things. You know, it's more like an addiction. So you want to, if it is someone's phone that is available, yes, you've got to move the phone, you know, anything you need to do. And if anything you need to do, my own colleague that were suspended together, they were involved in a robbery that they had to even kill, you know. So but death is not the killing is not fair, but someone got to do it, because you see, a hustler, like I said, doesn't care about repercussions. In the position of surviving, if you get along the line, you go collect, because bros, I need to survive. So it's more like a jungle. So that is it.
Wow, this has been very interesting. We're going on a short break, and when we come back, we get to listen to Samuel's recovery journey. Stay with us.
I was the head boy in my primary school, senior prefect and best graduating student in my secondary school, but drug abuse almost ruined my life.
I was on an average of 2 grams of cocaine per day.
I was taking 8 ampoules of pentazosine daily.
European shisha, cocaine.
I became a user, a dealer, and a gangster.
I saw other users drowning. I knew I didn't want to be like them, but I was already trapped.
My family disowned me.
My employment was terminated.
I sold my car, sold my house. I'll go out well-dressed and return shoeless, shirtless in exchange for drugs.
I was seeing things that were not real, and I once stabbed myself because I felt something crawling under my skin.
I contacted NDLEA and started therapy.
I spent 3 months in therapy.
I spent 8 months.
It's easy to relapse, but your mind has to be stronger than the cravings.
Drugs does not love you. You are not the one using drugs. Drugs are the one using you. Say no to drug abuse.
Welcome, and thank you for staying with us. Samuel, let's get into your recovery journey. You mentioned earlier something about God. How did you first find Jesus Christ?
Yeah, I actually, because of the street life, then it was Starcoms. We speak your language. So Starcoms came into town and they were selling phones. So I had a friend who saw my eagerness to acquire things. So he felt like I could do it. So he was a dealer with Starcom, so I enrolled as one of the marketers. So we go for road shows, we dance, and convince people to buy Starcoms. So, and because of the activities and where I was staying, it was actually an uncompleted building because I didn't have a proper accommodation. Mosquitoes were there. The rain will, they dealt with me. My degree, their own are like ×2 of everything. So that was how I took ill. I had typhoid, and all the money I had, I spent, but I wasn't getting any better. So I thought I was going to die, you know, and so I just thought, okay, let me just pray my last prayer, because no dad is coming to help you, no mom is coming to help you. This is what you got yourself into.
Yes.
It's either you resolve it yourself, or that's just okay. Let me just die. I know my way of thinking. I felt like God wants to kill me because it's about time. I've done a lot of things, so maybe it's time to
it's time to pay for it.
Yes, but the only thing I felt was my mom, because I knew I owed my mom a lot. I said I was going to make her proud one day. But I didn't know how I got into this. I just prayed my last prayer by myself. Oh, nobody led me to Christ. So I just told God, if I die, accept my soul, console my parents. It wasn't my intention. So I slept, and something more like someone tapped me, and I woke up and this said I should come. So I followed the voice, and I got to University of Maiduguri. The voice said I should go west, and I went west. And then I got to a place so dramatic. Opposite was Sahel Hotels, and the other side was Right Way Ministries. So the church was more like opposite the hotel. And this is the hotel where I used to come and drink and, you know, party. And I never noticed that there was a church opposite. That was the very first time. I was like, wow. Sometimes you could be so much close to a breakthrough and you don't even know it. So I decided. So the voice told me I should make a choice. I said, no, I've been going to this place that has contributed in destroying my life. Let me go into this right way and just make a very good decision once in my lifetime. Probably it will help out. Yeah. So I got into the place. It was not a church day. So the security man told me I should come on Sunday. So I came on Sunday.
You went back to the uncompleted building?
Yeah, I went back to my home. Okay. So, and I felt better that day, because now I have a hope that I'm about to encounter something to live for. So I didn't die, actually, like I thought I was going to die. So on Sunday, I came to church very early, earlier than every other person, even though I wasn't looking like a church boy, because where I was there, everybody was all looking at me like, this guy, are you sure? You understand? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So because I was wearing a baggy trouser, a very big t-shirt, I was just feeling like Tupac. But you will always catch me with my paper and pen, because that's where I write down my inspirations as a rapper. So when I got there, the pastor ministered on the power of the cross, talked about how Jesus Christ died on the cross, how he cried, that you cannot allow his death and sacrifice be in vain, the way you live your life and all of that stuff. And that ministered to me differently. I don't know if I can't remember the people in the church that day, but I can't forget that message because I knew I was more like a Judas that has betrayed Jesus and I needed him in my life. So I broke down, I was crying. And when the pastor did another call, I came out and I knelt down. And the pastor hugged me, and I've missed the hug of my parents, my dad. So his home was like my second home. But one of the sisters in the church, when I started coming to church, she asked me what I do. I told her this is what I do and all of that. So where do I stay? I said I don't have a home. So she took me to their house in New GRA. So they live in Abuja, but their father has a house in Maiduguri. So they were students of University of Maiduguri. So whenever they are on holiday, the house compound is usually locked up. So she said, instead of locking the compound, why don't we have someone who stays and take care of? So that was how I started living there, as courtesy of knowing God and attending that church, And so if I'm not there, I'm at pastor's house helping out. We go for crusades. We go for outreaches. Churches invites her drama ministry, so we go. So that was how I developed a heart for evangelistic ministry, that even now the woman is late, and I feel because she's the woman that gave me the heart for outreaches and evangelism, going out to reach out and win souls, and that has contributed so well to what has made me the rap apostle today. In fact, as I'm talking to you right now, after this show, I'm going to Kuje and I'll be there for like 1 week.
And that was how he found Jesus Christ. Before we close today's curtain, what advice do you have for others struggling with substance dependence?
Yeah, my advice for them is one, addictions are real, but you cannot be controlled by them. So you are now in charge. You are now superimposing over, because God created man for dominion. Drugs, tramadol, magadon, and all of that. We did all those shit. It never helped us. It made us become asylums, like psychos, you understand? Become scoffs. People laughed at us, scoffed at us. It never gave us anything proper. So the only thing I tell people is that when you meet Jesus Christ, it's going to redefine your life.
Thank you very much. That's it on today's episode. I will catch you same time next week. This is Narco Tales.
First of all, you conduct a test, and then the weighing, and then you issue certain forms that we call exhibit forms: certificate of test analysis, package of substance form, and then request for scientific aid. Because it is at the level of test that certain sample of the drug is taken to forensic lab for analysis, which is later presented in court. You know that no drug is drug, and it is certified to be drug by forensic expert. It is the court that gives order for the drug to be burnt. So at appropriate time, the NDLEA now organizes and get this drug burnt by public burning.
Don't do drugs. Don't do drugs. Don't try it though. He go choke you up. He go steal your sunshine up. He go shock you up. He don't kill him any youth for my area. Even for your area. When you start it to stop, it no go easy. As you dey drag am go, he dey drag you down. Water come out from my eyes, oh. When I remember all the guys, oh. Way many of them kicking bucket, oh. Some cut to socket, oh. Make we no forget, oh. No dey talk it, oh. Say, don't do drugs. Rock up you see body, oh. Don't do drugs. Don't go wound your busy body. Don't do drugs. If you die, you go sad, oh. Don't do drugs. Oh yeah, help me tell somebody. Don't do say, rock up you see body, oh. Don't do body, oh. Body, oh.
This message is brought to you by the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA.